Hey, everybody. I'm Tommy Scoville, and you're on the lifeboat. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Green Acres is the place to be. Alan Valentine, good to see you, brother. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're all here. Let's see if I can't blow you up a little bit. Alan's stuck out. Mr. Ray Ray, good to see you. Lemmy, Charlie Mullins. The gang is all here. Let me audit you. Always a pleasure, my brother. Valerie, good to see you. Seventh Son, Heather Joy. Valerie 102. John Doe. And of course, Charlie Mullins Murphy. I feel the same way. Much love, Charlie. All right, peeps. So, first of all, it's been a hell of a day. Anik, I got a call from Anik, and I picked it up, and she wasn't there. So I'll have to try to get back. Virginia, good to see you. Snotface. Miss Dragon, nice to see you. Glad that you're all here. Having one of those days where I can't get my the watch band that I'm wearing to feel like it's the right size. Might have something to do with the fact that it's 108. Good for you, though, brother. It's getting through those times where you really, Lemmy says, yeah, I really felt like having a beer this evening. Stupid flat tire. It's that kind of stuff, man. It's the stuff that gives you such a great excuse to use, and then you don't do it. Dennis N., good to see you, brother. Glad that you're here. It is the weekend, peeps. It is the weekend. Friday night here on the lifeboat. And we're going to be talking about self-esteem. This is one of those subjects that it's one of those deceptive things in the world. I have, in the course of my life, had I have met some people in my life who were quite famous. And you would assume that people, Rhonda, good to see you. You would assume, Trish Killian, I'm glad you're here, that people who are famous and people who are in limelight and things like that would have bulletproof self-esteem. And the truth of the matter is, more often than not, they don't. It is a difficult thing, this whole self-esteem garbage. It really is. It's a very difficult thing. It's probably the elasticity. It's probably all worn out from the heat. Everything today in Tucson. Yes, well, it is hot. My day was difficult too. Felt like sobriety wasn't important at all. But happy to be here on the lifeboat. Valerie, we're glad that you're here. We're glad that you got through it. And that goes to everybody on the boat today, man. We suffer because of our addiction with self-esteem issues. The problem with being a drug addict or being an alcoholic is that, and they're the same thing. I don't know why I always do that. But I'm going to keep doing it. Oh, the new look. Yes. Yes. Quiet Girl, glad that you're here. Quiet Girl says, I have no self-esteem or confidence. This is a difficult thing, people. And it's difficult for individuals that struggle with this. One of the best things that an individual can do struggling with self-esteem is to concentrate on things that they take pride in. And very often I'll talk to somebody on the phone and they'll say, I don't take pride in anything that I do. And then I'll change the subject and we'll talk for a little while and it will become very, very obvious. Day behind on the jokes there, Seventh. It will become very obvious that there are things in life that they are quite passionate about. One of the reasons, people, that Q used to hammer home the whole, I get up in the morning, I make my bed, I have a set list of things that I do every single day when I get up, and I still continue to do them. And the reason that I do is because for me, very much like sobriety, self-esteem can run on a 24-hour cycle. There are days that I have that I'm awful. There are days that I have that I'm awful at being a person. And there are days that I have where I'm just absolutely awful at the lifeboat, at fixing watches. Everybody is going to have days where we feel like we're out of our element and that we can't get it done, whatever it is. And sometimes those days link together. And it's an important thing to run your self-esteem from day to day. I'm as good as I am today, right? And that's always going to be that way, no matter what it is that I do, whether it's the lifeboat, whether it's fixing watches, whether it's being a speaker, whether it is anything that I set my mind to. And that includes my sobriety. There are days that I am going to zip through the day. And when I go to put my head on my pillow at night and I say a prayer, I'm going to realize I didn't think about dope all day long. There was not a point in my day today where I thought, boy, I wish that I was wasted, or I kind of missed that, or any of the stupid thoughts that all of us have when we're in recovery, right? There are days that go by that simply that didn't happen. And on those days, you feel like you're on top of the world. You feel like I've got the sobriety thing licked. The same thing happens. I have to exercise for my self-esteem, not just weight loss and health, but it's something I committed to. I like this. So when I do it, I feel great. When I don't, my whole day's off, including how I feel about me. Booyah. This is something that anybody who has ever set goals understands. When you take something from your head and you put it down on the paper and you say, this is something I'm going to do, and it becomes a thing, becomes a very big thing in your life. This is something that I'm going to dedicate time to, and this is something that I'm going to dedicate effort to. When you do it, whether or not you're killing it, it's like the lifeboat. It's like what I was just talking about a moment ago. And this is why I do things from day to day. There are days I feel like I'm pretty damn good at this. There are days I feel like I'm really awful at it. And the trick is to hopefully minimize the number of days you think you suck and maximize the number of days that you think you're halfway decent at something. But I take my pride in the lifeboat, not based on the number of people who are sober or any of those things, and I don't do it on great shows, because I'll be honest with you, I do some bad shows. Heather and I can't crank out the volume that we do, and as speakers, and come up with interesting subject matter that we can talk about for an hour and do it, 7 or 8 times a week, 9 times a week. And having done that, this July 31st will be 2 years on the lifeboat. Time flies when you're hanging out with great people, right? So my self-esteem is by the day. Today, I feel pretty good about myself in terms of the amount of work that I got done and the things that needed to get done that I did. Felt pretty good about yesterday. There have been some days I didn't feel quite as good. My health today kind of deserted me. I found myself getting very, very winded very, very easily. It's something I'm going to look into. And I have not been to. Alf says I've been to SeaTac. Do you mean the airport SeaTac? Because there's also a penal colony of sorts. There's a federal institution in Seattle called SeaTac. So it's a hard thing. It really is. It's a hard thing. And I don't know if I said hi to you, Alf. Good to see you. Yeah, Alan Ballantyne says time flies, but we've saved way more than the original 6 that you wanted to when we first started. And you know what? There's a lot of truth to that. The people on the boat have helped an awful lot of people. I keep track of the emails and the things that people say, and it's I go back and I read it from time to time. Hold on one second. I just got to think, and I think that Leisure number 7 has met more lifeboat members in real life than Tommy. No question. No question. If not really close. I think I've probably met 4 or 5 in person, maybe 6. Not many at all. And usually through serendipity, I'm somewhere where I run into somebody. Just Seattle and Tacoma in general. Love you too, Alf. Glad that you're here. Flamin' Jackson, speaking of love, it is good to see you. Jackson, I love you, brother. John Doe, I do not know where white salmon is. To Tommy, would it be able to go back to a quick question from yesterday? From yesterday's chat about testing. Sure. Ask the question and I will answer it. Be more than happy to. I would be more than happy to do that for you. A lot of testing going on too, people. Not sure, some tough news. Somebody emailed me something. A crew member on the boat. Maybe it wasn't a crew member on the boat. It might have been Linda. I don't know. But I got a message concerning Robert De Niro losing a family member because of fentanyl. I'm so sorry, Miss Dragon. Can we get some prayers for Miss Dragon, please? Okay, well, I can answer about the U.S. considerably better than I could answer about the U.K. To write with a broken pencil is pointless. You know what? Sometimes, quiet, bad days do link one after another. You said most states have places you can have your bits and bobs tested. You lost me on bits and bobs, but I'm going to go with yes. There are places all over the United States where you can get anything chemically tested, whether it's drugs, whether it's anything. There are people paying to have peppers tested to see the capsaicin levels in it. Oh no, you need to send it off, or you can bring it in and leave it, but more likely than not, you're going to be doing it online and getting it sent off. Don't sweat the petty things. Don't pet the sweaty things. Alf, you know who says that all of the time? Pagan. That is a big pagan expression. I love Pagan. She's funny. I can test your patience, says Lemmy. A skill I possess as well, Lemmy. How odd. Running into another individual with the same skill. Who would have thought? So, what am I got going on here? What am I doing here? Sorry, peeps. I know I'm juggling the camera all over the place. George Carlin. Can't go wrong with Carlin. So, there are days, Quiet Girl, where, okay, so you send it in and they give you a report saying what's in it and what in it that shouldn't be. Is this about right? It is not free. It costs money, but it is exactly right. They will tell you everything. North of the border here in the U.S., there are places in Canada that do it for free. We don't have any places here currently that do it for free. At concerts, they set up small places where you can go at concerts and get stuff tested. But I don't know any place that does it full-time in the real world for free. That one I do not know. So, Quiet Girl, we're going to link some bad days together. And the addiction for most of us was linking 5 bad days and turning them into 7, and then turning the 7 into 14, and turning the 14 into 2 years. And the 2 years quickly became 10 and 12 and 30. And it takes a massive amount of effort to turn that first day. To get that first day going in the opposite direction is a huge output. It takes every part of who you are as a person, and it is a leisure. Happy birthday, leisure. That's right. It is the 7th today, is it not? Happy birthday, leisure. Should we sing? I feel like we should sing. Okay, in the UK, we have the festival tents, like someone mentioned, but we have to post to Wales to get a full free. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good. I guarantee you very few people are doing it, James, if you have to hop through that many hoops to get it done. So I have faith. I haven't snorted Wellbutrin in 3 weeks. Got a boy, Alf. Thank you, Leisure. Thank you for being such a huge part of the lifeboat, brother. Leisure's been here a very, very long time, been a huge part of the boat for as long now as I can remember the boat. So it's an honor to have you here, Leisure. It really is. It's an honor to have you here, brother. So God bless and happy birthday, and thank you for all you do for the boat every day. The one is for Alf, says Annette, and I will throw that up. And I'm going to toss up a one for Leisure's birthday as well, because that just plain deserves a one. So getting that first day under your belt is a difficult thing to do, regardless of what it is we're trying to do. If you're eating too much, if you're cursing too much, if you're smoking too much, if you're drinking too much, if you're doing any of the vices that we talk about here on the lifeboat, and a crapload of them that we don't talk about on the lifeboat, right? If you're trying to break any habit, I appreciate that, Leisure, and you've been that way from day one. You live it. Thank you, man. I really, really appreciate that. It's a matter of forcing our way through that first day. Linda is traveling. Thank you, 7th. Prayers for Linda as she travels. Tough time, too. Tough time. That family's had a tough run. A really, really tough run. The last couple of months have just been absolutely awful. Alf, if it works for you, brother, do what you do. Quiet Girl. You are a very articulate woman. I've spoken with Quiet Girl on the phone. An incredibly articulate person. Does a very good job of communicating. And if that was the only skill that you possessed, that's enough to build self-esteem off of. Everybody should have one thing that they're good at. You're an excellent communicator. And I'm sure that there's 1,000 other things. But you need to start concentrating on the things that you do that you're good at. Taking pride in those things, because pride starts the whole process of self-esteem. And sometimes we have to do it one day at a time. Sometimes we're not going to feel on Tuesday like we did on Monday, and hopefully we're going to feel different Wednesday than we did Tuesday. And that's the reality of everything in sobriety. It's the reality of the diet we were talking about. It's the reality of the habit you're trying to break, right? It's that we're going to do good as often as we possibly can, and there are going to be times that we slip. There are going to be days that aren't as good. There are going to be days you want to get high, and there are going to be days that you want to get loaded or eat like a Viking, right? Or gamble until you're completely out of money, or whatever your vice happens to be. The reason that we do this thing one day at a time is because the pressure of trying to do more than that would be immense. The thought of trying to go the rest of our lives without having anything to sort of fall back on and something to take the edge off of where we live. Without that, that would be a terrifying prospect for people in the beginning. It's not so scary down the line. When you've been sober for a while, it seems to be a little less daunting. But in the beginning, the pitch is we just need to get through that first day. And in building self-esteem or anything else, it's the exact same thing. And you need to celebrate. Number one, you need to celebrate small victories. Recognize and acknowledge your accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem to you. Here's the deal. They may not seem so small to your subconscious. You hear me? They may not seem as small to your subconscious. What's the big deal, Tommy? Make your bed for a week and check it out. Get up every day for a week. Make your bed. For real. Clean up your room. Do something that gets you motivated. Pick a room in the house. Knock it out. Clean up your kitchen. Get the dishes out of the sink. Whatever it is. But pick something and start knocking it out. Give yourself little victories. Things that you look around and go, you know what? This could be better. I have a lot of work to do. However, behind me, there aren't 5 feet of boxes anymore, right? Every day I'm trying to do a little bit more and a little bit more. Even like today, I'm really getting winded by basically just moving. Congratulations, Alpha's right. Today I'm getting That's funny, Seventh. Seventh bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day. But I'm bummed. Dishes in the sink with 2 weeks. Gotta get them gone. Gotta get them gone, people. These are the little things that will give you self-esteem. Making your bed in the morning, journaling, all of the things that I beat to death until you go like, man, Tommy doesn't talk about anything other than making his friggin' bed, writing in that stupid friggin' journal. These things will keep you sober. And more importantly, they will give you something to feel good about. Well, Snotface, we're glad that you found a home immediately. You definitely feel like you've been here forever, and that's a high compliment, I assure you. Oh, good. Congratulations, Lemmy. Lemmy's about to get an offer working for a moving company. I'm hoping that that's something that appeals to you, bud. Coming here every day helps me too. Good. God is divine. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Do the things that you have control over. Boo-yah, Annette. Do the things that you have control over. This is absolutely huge. Seriously, well played. Annette points out one of the most important things in the world. Small victories, right? Okay, look around. See where you can score small victories. Does your car look like hammered? Yeah. Does your car look like you've been throwing McDonald's trash, Burger King trash, In-N-Out trash? White Castle, are you treating your car as a rolling garbage pail? Because if you are, that should stop. There are small things that we can do that you do not have to restart the world. I lived in a prison for a long time, and you got 4 pair of clothing, right? You got some casual stuff that you wear around, maybe 2 sets, and then you've got your dress stuff that you got to wear to meals and things like that, 2 sets. And that's all you got. So you're not going to distinguish yourself by having a ton more than everybody else, because they're just, I mean, even if a guy could have 5 sweatshirts, but they're still just going to be gray sweatshirts. They're not going to look any different than the previous one that he bought. He can have a thermal. The point being, you take pride in the fact that everything is always clean. You take pride in the fact that everything is always neat. You take pride in the fact that that little 40 square foot hole that they give you to live in, you make as livable as possible. You make that piece of crap concrete box feel as close to something like home as you possibly can. Why? Because there's nothing else. There's nothing else. You could walk around looking filthy. There's nobody there to see you. And you hear guys say that. There ain't no chicks here. No, there isn't. But there's self-esteem and there's dignity and there's things like that. Alan Ballantyne, thank you, brother. You're too kind. He's only lived here 1 week and there's dishes in the sink 2 weeks. Yeah, that does sound like a bit of a sucker. Hold on. Last night was the first time I was able to recognize the feeling that sent me into my addictive behaviors. Holy crap. I was able to acknowledge and work through it. Rose K. Rose K. That's the peeling the onion, people. That's the peeling the onion. That's getting to that thing that you see where you go, oh man, I get it. I get it. Now this makes perfect sense to me. I get it. That's huge, man. It took just for me personally, it took years. It took years. That's monumental, Rose, says Annette. That's sobriety. Booyah. Hey, Mind Games. Good to see you. John Doe, if you can train dogs to do that, I think you might just have a way to make a living. My cat hasn't cleaned up anything since we got here. Snotface, enjoy your dinner. Have a great night. Please, have a great night. Yeah, that is fabulous, Rose. Congratulations. Making a change, changing your character, being honest with yourself, opening up, letting a little things that trouble you, releasing it, having a strong foundation. James, that's beautiful. That really is. James, well played. Absolutely beautiful. Good to see you, bud. Really good to see you. So I just lost my job today, but I'm very much trying to look at this as a sign that it was time for me to move on. I was not necessarily being treated very well. Well, Brandy, then it's a blessing. And you know what? You should look at it that way. You absolutely should. We don't discuss politics here until I do. And then I piss a bunch of people off and 4 or 5 people jump off the boat. So I try to do it as little as possible. However, if ever you wanted to be somewhere where you wanted to be looking for a job, I mean, this is the only time in history where you can walk into places looking for a job and make demands. You know what I mean? They're so hurting to get people to walk into places and work. I see this as a beautiful opportunity. If they weren't treating you well, Brandy, you shouldn't have been there anywhere, right? Anyway, you really shouldn't. It's a perfect topic for tonight, Brandy. This is the perfect topic for tonight because this is going to be an opportunity for you to walk into a brand new place with a different level of self-esteem and a different level of pride and kick the crap out of this next one. You know, we can't have you somewhere where people aren't treating you well. That sucks. That just absolutely sucks. And it doesn't pay off, and we don't want it. Great videos, Nick. I wish I could post them. They tend to get angry at when you do that. You know, Nick, I was talking about you yesterday, day before yesterday. I was over at someone's place, and they were talking about getting a raccoon. And I said, oh, I know the raccoon guy. I said, I got a friend that is a raccoon guy. No matter how much you push the envelope, it'll still be stationary. That, 7th, is one of your better jokes. Ultra Maggot, good to see you. All right. Everyone who has channels, I'm glad you're putting yourself out there. So am I, man. Dennis Brace, good comment. So am I. I have always viewed this as more of a community than just a channel. And the more that the Raccoon Whisperer, see John Doe knows, the more people that are putting up content and that are putting up stuff that people can watch and stuff that isn't going to damage anybody, stuff that's caring and puts living your best life before everything else, man, the more the merrier. I hope everybody starts a channel and we can all put your addresses up here and people can go and check it out. And, you know, if it clicks with them, fantastic. If it doesn't, that's just the nature of life, but we'll give everybody a chance, right? I love that as an idea. Depends on where it's legal to own a raccoon. And just like any pet, it gets expensive, but it's worth all the love. Well, I will pass that on. Yes, 7th. I think we actually have a host of people here that have pet raccoons, but Nick is like the Raccoon Whisperer. He is the Mac Daddy of all things raccoon. Raccoons are one of the world's most friendliest. I've seen some really cool videos. Yeah, the babies are very, very cute. I've had several pet black widows. Can we get a counselor for Alf? Somebody? No one here? No. All right. Sorry, Alf. I was trying to get you some counseling. Why would you have a pet arachnid? There's just something. Oh no! And then Miss Dragon jumps on too. Oh, that's just awful. That's just awful, man. That's not what, you know. Pets should be soft and furry and cute. And don't tell me that a tarantula is furry. My dog tried to get sprayed by a skunk at 3 a.m. I'm going to be really honest with you. I love the smell of skunk. Miss Dragon says, I'd like a possum. As a pet, she means. The first person to ever utter that phrase out loud in the history of mankind. You want a pet possum. Did you catch that? She wants a pet possum. Nobody in the world wants a pet possum. Oh, and now you've got Nick on it too. See, there's something wrong with everybody here. That is just absolutely crazy, people. Possum does taste good, says 7th Son. In a tip of the hat to Jethro Bodine. cow manure is better smelling than skunk. I gotta disagree with you on that. I gotta disagree with you on that. I also have to disagree with Valerie, who thinks possums are cute. You can have a pet possum in New Zealand, apparently. One more reason. You want a pet possum, and that is awesome, says Dennis. Dennis Brace turns it into a poem. Well done. Well done. I'd like to see a pet funnel web spider from over here, angry little buggers. Alan, I think if you even suggest a funnel web spider pet, I may never talk to you again. What is the matter with you? Watched Guardians 3 earlier. It has the story of Rocket, the raccoon's intelligence, and his pet, the talking tree. Now, that's a pet. It's true. And you can kill that pet and it just comes back. And gets paid a lot of money for voiceovers to only say Groot. I mean, that was the score. Do you know who is the voice of that? Come on, somebody. Somebody put that up there because it is a very, very interesting piece of trivia. Rose K says, Alan, no. See, I'm with Rose K on this one. My brother, Alan. Yes, Dennis, you are. You are a poet. Whether or not you know it. This possum is like 25 pounds. Good Lord. Okay, sorry, folks. I think at that, when you get up, Vin Diesel, well done. I think Leisure might have been the first one to get that, too. It was. Leisure, well done. Vin Diesel, I don't watch movies either. I just happen to know that Vin Diesel did the voice of the raccoon from... I saw the very first one of those. It's like a big cat. No, it's not. It has that white tail that makes that looks like it might be made of leather, or it might be made of the thing that the hunter from Alien, not Alien, but Predator. Remember the dreadlocks things that guy had? That looks like a possum's tail, and I don't appreciate them at all. I think they're really kind of nasty. Saw Sound of Freedom yesterday. Everybody needs to see it, says Cindy Pardee. Is it as good as everybody says it is? Platypus. There you go. Guardians of the Galaxy. Root is the cutest ever. The little Root is probably a little bit cuter, but yeah, I do like Root. Dreads, yeah, that's what they look like. That is exactly what they look like. So, practice self-care. The second thing we're going to talk about in our self-esteem journey is practicing self-care. When we run ourselves ragged and when we feel like we're behind the 8 ball at all times, it makes us feel as if we're not successful. And if we're feeling like we're not successful, then our self-esteem is going to take a beating. So it always comes back to the same things on the boat. It really does. It always comes back to the same things. You want to stay sober, you do they are marsupials, apparently. I did not know that. Doesn't that mean they lay eggs? Don't marsupials lay eggs? I know they have pouches too. Surround yourself with supportive people. I think that this is probably a decent place here on the lifeboat. It's a decent place to come and hang out with people that actually have your best interest at heart. Hanging out with people that really do want you to do well. I do remember kites and Cadillacs. And fishing for tossing the Cadillac. Do esteemable things to build self-esteem. Annette, I like that. I really do. I like that. Do esteemable things to build self-esteem. And they can start really, really damn small. You just have to take credit for the things that you do. And you spend a lot of years addicted to dope and you just beat the crap out of yourself, right? You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You don't have the discipline. You don't have this. You don't have that. It's just a constant one thing after another, how we tear ourselves down and tell us how we just aren't good enough. And the longer that we're in the sobriety game, hold on one second. Tommy, I made you Vegemite toast this morning and I ate it for you. I uploaded the video to my channel. Oh, you cold-hearted thing. You cold-hearted thing. You did it on purpose? Nobody eats Vegemite on purpose. You know what Vegemite is? Hopefully Alan Valentine's still here. It's a stage prop so that I can pull it out and say, see this? I would rather clean a squirrel the way she cleans herself than eat this experiment from the bottom of a vat. Yeast. Thank you. That's all it is. Oh, a Vegemite sandwich. Da-da-da-da. You gave me a Vegemite sandwich. See that? Now you've got Alan jumping on it. It only takes one. See? It only takes one. It all starts with one Vegemite person. And then the next thing you know, oh, it's meat yeast? Squirrel, look that up. See if she's telling the truth. Meat yeast? Oh, why does that sound so much more foul? What is meat yeast? Rose, you're on the spot. You are on the lifeboat. Rose K, can you tell me what meat yeast is? Nice. Very nice. Captain's favorite. Now meat has yeast. Gross. I'm with Annette. Rose mead yeast. Maybe it's mead yeast. That might make more sense. Thank you, Zen Wen. Please take care of yourself tonight. As a food scientist, I have no clue. Oh, you're not going to believe this. I almost forgot to tell you this. So last night I went out to dinner and I met with a group of guys. There's 4 or 5 of them, I think. Mealworm yeast. Oh, Lord, this has gone off the rails. Can we do 80s trivia Saturday night? I'm open to 80s trivia. Quiet girl, I can do that. Okay, thank you, Lemmy. Lemmy says it is brewer's yeast. So it's probably mead that she was saying, not meat. It was probably mead. Vegemite belongs in the garbage. Dennis has obviously tried Vegemite. That's painfully obvious. So I go out to dinner last night, and there's 6 people at the table other than me. And I sit down and I'm introducing myself to everyone. And this guy says to me, there's an older gentleman at the table, probably the oldest gentleman there. And he says, are you ready, peeps? He says, this is Clark Griswold. And of course, thinking that I had to have heard that wrong, I said to him, I'm sorry, Clark what? And he said, Griswold. I said, W-O-L-D? He said, yeah. I went, well, I'll be damned. And the crazy thing is, this person truly acted like I might have been the first person. No, not need. I'm sorry. Mead with an M. There you go. Yeah, need. I feel the need for mead. No, I'm kidding. Mead is a beverage made from honey that also has malted hops and barley and things like beer does, but it has a ton of honey in it. Alf says Vegemite is made from unwashed feet, and I think he might be right on this. I don't have the scientific stuff in front of me, but I'm pretty confident that this stuff right here. See, I don't have these are just for blue, but I'm pretty sure that if I could read the ingredients on the side, it would say smelly foot yeast. Yep, there it is right there. Smelly foot yeast. How about that? Unwashed feet. It's true. Didn't see that coming, but apparently it really is. So I can't tell you how hard it was to not laugh at Clark W. Griswold. And then if he understood the joke in the beginning, I could have asked him what his middle name was, but then it just would have seemed weird because he didn't seem to get the Clark Griswold reference at all. Because imagine just if it started with a W. Mead can have variants with malt. It's a braggot. Oh, I had no idea. His name was Clark Griswold, Valerie. Clark Griswold. No lie. Like that was his name. You got to figure 5,000 times in this man's life, someone has said to him, what, like Wally World, Clark Griswold? This dude had no clue. He literally acted like he never heard that before. See this, Mr. Ray Ray? He saw the Dead Sea Scrolls in Chicago, and they had a section of the Dead Sea Scrolls about Vegemite being one of the signs of the apocalypse. You know, oh, wow. Wow. I can't begin to tell you how unfortunate that was. I just buried something really sharp and pointy into the bottom of my foot. I stood on it. I don't have any shoes on. Oh, I am miserable. Oh, wow, that hurt. Yeah, absolutely insane. Clark Griswold. I just assumed that would have been a joke that he was probably tired of hearing it. But I just said, he goes, why? Do you know a Clark? And at first I thought he was putting on shtick. So I was like, I do. Yeah, I got a friend who's a Clark Griswold. He's like, oh, how about that? The idea is to toss the leftover brewer's yeast, right? Throw it out. Really? They do a National Lampoon Christmas in New Jersey every single year. I love it. Mind Game suggests that Vegemite might be toe jam. He could be right on that. See, it gets back to the dirty foot thing, though. Yeah, Dennis Bray says, I think it's hilarious that Clark's family is different in every movie that the kids are. Yeah, they just seem to keep should we see if we can put somebody on the spot? This is always fun. Hello, you're on the lifeboat. Hello.
Sorry, Tommy, I sat fingered at that time.
That was an error?
That was an
error. All right.
And I was too slow to hang it up.
Okay. I love it. All right, Seventh. Have a good night. And that, people, was Seventh Son, who just butt dialed the lifeboat. I am truthfully working on a call-in line, people. It's going to happen soon. Pig's feet go well with this topic. I like it, Annette. It's really close to your house when they do the Lampoon thing. The USA. Do we have Marmite in the States? Yes. I mean, we don't have it at every store, but there are places that you can buy it in the States. Probably the same place I bought Vegemite. In fact, they did have Marmite there. So we have a chain in the U.S. Called World Market, and they sell all kinds of stuff that's not really edible. So not saying Marmite's not. No, I am. I'm saying that. It's awful. Awful stuff. Oh, Marmite, it seems, is made from used urinal cakes. I'll be damned. They must boil them down because it's a little bit darker than what you would think. They probably just boil them down. No. They're tearing down the Griswold's Christmas vacation house at Warner Brothers lot in Hollywood. No. Well, that's just wrong. Somebody should buy that and then erect it somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like move it to some place and have it put up as a house. It should be a monument or something. Yeah. I like both Marmite and Vegemite, says Alan Valentine, who quite obviously has no taste buds. Good dude, though. I mean, he is. He's a salt of the earth. He's a brother. But his taste is in question. I'm just saying it's in question. We're really going to put it to the test, though. At some point, I'm going to see to it that man eats Systroming. Question: self-esteem is not eating Vegemite. Well, I find that eating Vegemite is the wrong answer to every single question, truthfully. So, in the 15 minutes that we have left, the number one enemy of self-esteem is negative self-talk, right? Automatic negative thoughts, self-talk, whatever you want to call it. I like ANTS because it makes for a nice acronym. Automatic negative thoughts, but it's self-talk. And it's you telling yourself that you're not worth a shit, and that you're not any good at this, or Alan has a pet spider, I bet. Wouldn't surprise me. Sorry. 1 second, people. Sorry. Sorry, peeps. That is a no joke lifeboat emergency. So I am going to call it a night. This is someone that is in a bad way. Peeps, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. That's a cat in a basket. Tomorrow night we're going to be doing trivia. Do me a favor. See this? That's a prayer for a lady right now that needs it. Please. God will know who you're talking about. I'm Tommy Scoville. We'll see you tomorrow.